so the next submission from this head pin from mount position series is going to be the Americana. So again, I establish this head pin position here. I'm leaning over to the opposite side, and I go and I feel the elbow come in between my knee and her ribs. I instantly address it and pick up her elbow here and start to and take the space away. But maybe I've used this a lot on my opponent, and they realize that the head and arm choke's about to come, so they get really stubborn, and I can't, for whatever reason, walk my hand up, and they're just really strong, and they're doing everything in their power. They're bucking, they're doing all this stuff to prevent me from isolating this arm. And eventually they start shoving this arm back inside here. I just can't walk my hand up. From here, I'm going to use that against her, the movement, because now she's putting her arm in an L position, which allows me to attack the Americana. From here, I'm going to I'm going to put my head to the ground, so I'm using my chest to pin her wrist against her chest. I'm going to take my hand out, and I'm going to fish it underneath until I find my opponent's wrist here. Here, I'm going to use my whole body to drive the wrist down, and this hand's already ready to be locked in for the Americana. This elbow's against the side of her face. I'm going to sink my hips back as I drag her knuckles against the ground, her elbow towards my hip, and I start lifting up on that elbow here. All right, one more time. So again, this will be Americana when they defend the head and arm choke. Establish, pick up the elbow, bring my knee in. I go to isolate, I can't get it. I now use my chest to pin her wrist against her chest. I take my hand out, free it. I find her wrist as I drive her wrist to the ground. Grab my own wrist as a thumbless grip, dragging her knuckles against the ground as I start pulling her elbow back to the hips and driving her elbow towards her head. So that's the Americana when they defend the head and arm choke.